I will be right back. I am just going to email myself the link to this so that I can answer questions while I also do the live stream. So I'll be back real soon. Share, Gmail. Okay, say nice with me. Okay. Welcome everybody. So fondant flowers won in the end. So I'll be demonstrating how to create these guys. I was hoping that I could actually watch this while I did it. And that way I can see all the comments that you guys are leaving while I demonstrate. Anywho, let's get started. Oh no, it didn't work. Oh, you know what? That really hurts. That really hurts. Oh, yay! Okay, beautiful. So I should be able to get comments now. Anyway, I've got my fondant here. And you could use gum paste for this as well. And I'm just going to knead it in my hands. I'm looking at the phone and it turns out I can't actually see comments and that hurts. So I will be taking your comments at the end of this video, and that way if you guys have any questions I can answer them for you. So I've got some corn flour here. I got a little hole in the box and it kind of leaked out, so this is how I like to dust my countertop. So from here I'm going to take my fondant and just start rolling it out. To make the flowers today, I'm going to be using this fondant cutter. You can buy this on eBay, very cheap as well. It was only like maybe $11, I think. And we'll be cutting out our petals with that. So I'm taking a rolling pin and I'm rolling out my fondant probably as thin as I can get it, but not too thin, so maybe about 1.5 to 2 millimeters in thickness. And I'm going to come around and just quickly check that there's no problems with the footage. So no, sometimes, if there's any problems, please do comment. Awesome, so far no problems. Hi guys, hello. Okay, beautiful. So, we're rolling these out. And someone asked what kind of flowers are we making today? I do have one that I prepared last night. And so we'll be making this little guy here. If you guys can see that. It's really delayed, so I can't tell if I'm properly in view. I think I am. Anyway. So in total, I want about 4 rows of petals. So what I'm going to do is take my petal cutter and just cut out 2, because I'll be cutting this in half. So here's the first one, and then here's the second one. And now with your excess fondant or gum paste, if you're using gum paste, just make sure to roll it back into a ball and cover it completely in Glad wrap. These fondant flowers, they actually do take a little bit of a long time to make. I'm not really a fan of, I used to love it, making fondant flowers, but I prefer to spend that time decorating cakes. So I kind of stopped. But for you guys, I will be more than happy to demonstrate how to make these flowers. So I've cut those in half now, and we're going to be using those to roll around our bud. What I'll do is just pop these aside for a sec and show you guys how to create the bud. So what I've got here is some wire and a small polystyrene bud. I bought this on eBay. If you look up teardrop buds in craft. Now if you're going to put these aside, make sure that they're covered in Glad wrap so they don't dry out. But technically this should have probably been step 1. I've got some white chocolate that I've melted down, and I'm dipping that bud completely in the chocolate, tapping off the excess, so it's like we're making a cake pop here, but with a styrofoam center. Now from there, I'm just going to put this aside for a sec into some styrofoam. And we're going to take our edible driggies. These are 2 millimeters. They're by Cake Craft. And what I'm going to do is I'm literally just going to submerge this 3/4 of the way into the edible pearls. Now from there, you would just have to let that set. So I'm going to pop it into some styrofoam. Just quickly close this off, and I'll take out that chocolate later. And here are some that I prepared earlier. So we're just going to set this in here to set completely. Now, in the meantime, we'll work on our petals. So we're backtracking here. This was technically step 1. With the petals, I've got a bit of foam here. This is floral foam. Usually comes with a sponge as well, but I'm just going to use the foam bit. And what I'm going to do is take a circle, like a bowl tip, and I'm going to just really lightly press it up against the edge of my flower until I bring it right to the edge. So I'm half on the fondant and I'm half on the foam. So start off on the fondant and work your way to the very, very edge. This thins out your petals, makes it look a little bit more realistic and a lot more delicate. It's really pretty. I wouldn't recommend skipping this step. And this is where all the time sort of goes into your flowers. This is a more time consuming part of it. But we have made this a lot faster by using that petal cutter. Because normally you'd have to cut out each individual petal and then do this. Instead we have a row that's already ready and you just roll it onto that bud. So a bit of a hack here for time saving. I mean, I've logged into my phone and I can see the live stream. I just can't see the comments, which is really disappointing. I am sick at the moment, so I apologize in advance if I have a coughing fit. And the fact that I am talking so much means that it's inevitable. There's going to be a section of this live stream where I am just dying. I am going to be coughing my lungs out, and I apologize in advance. It happens every time. So I kind of ripped that. You don't want to add too much pressure to this. Oh, there's the tickle. This is Bakels fondant that I've used here, by the way. I don't actually make my own fondant. I just buy it because it's a lot easier. Much, much easier. Satin Ice make a really nice fondant as well. I just prefer Bakels. Okay. We are almost done. This is the 4th and final row. It's funny, these flowers will probably take me a little bit over 20 minutes. And yet, if I were to do a tutorial, the tutorial would be like no longer than 1.5 minutes. It's funny. Just how much can fit in the video. Okay, awesome. They're done. I'm going to take a bud that I prepared last night. And notice how I have left the bottom section bare so that I can stick the fondant onto it. The next step now is to stick our petals on. I have some water and a brush. And I'm just going to lightly water the section at the very bottom. And I'm also going to go up half of the way on the end petals as well. Do that for all of your rows. And the last one, we're actually going to cut out each individual petal, so that stays as is. The very first one should be a little bit tighter around the bud. So I'm going to wrap it underneath. So the wet section is actually touching the bottom of the bud. And I'm going to wrap it around. Just like so. Let's make sure that I'm still in view here. Okay. just like that. And then turn it upside down and give it a bit of a pinch just to make sure that's securely on there. And that's our first row. At this point, you do want it to be a bit tight, but you still don't want to hide all those pretty little beads. So you can sort of bring those back a little if you need to. Grab your second row and apply it directly on top. I try to go between the spaces of the last two petals. So that's my next row. And I'll bring it around and just see how easy and quick that is when you have these petal cutters. Again, turning it upside down and giving it a pinch to make sure that's all stuck on. With the second row, you can start peeling it back and opening the flower. So I'll peel back the petals and then I'll give it a pinch as well. Just at the end. And like so. Our second last row. Again, try to find a space in between. And I kind of stick this a little bit higher. I don't go all the way to the bottom, I go higher each time so the petals are more prominent. And going around and connecting. And then giving it a good pinch. And bring it back around and peel back that row. Giving it a pinch. Okay. And for the very last few, I'm going to just cut these individually. And then wherever you feel you need space, you now have a lot more control of where you place your petals. So here, for example, I can see that I want one just there. So you literally just grab it, stick it on, make sure it's well attached, and then bring that petal back and give it a pinch at the very end to make it look a bit more realistic and lifelike. Gonna do the same with this section over here, peeling it back and pinching the very top corner. Probably say 2 more petals here and there. So one just here, giving it back and pinching, and one more here. Ooh, just there. All right. Ooh. That doesn't happen. Okay then, we've just lost our bud. Alright, just gonna stick that through again somehow. Alright, note to self, when popping it in the bud, pop it well and truly in the center, not down here. But that's okay. Our flower will have to rest on its own, just on the countertop like that. So it's not a problem really, but it'd be great if you can hang them upside down, which is why I added the wire. Technically you could do this without a wire, but because we have a wire, you can hook that and then find an instrument in your house that you can hang it upside down from. Normally Wilton make things that you can hang it upside down from. I have like a little bookshelf thing here, and if you guys can see, I literally just hang it on there so that it's upside down. And that's why we have the wire, so that the petals can sort of dry, and they dry more closed, whereas if you have your flower resting upwards like this, what will happen is over time these petals will droop down because of gravity, which is why you want to hang them upside down. But I'm actually pretty happy with the way that came out, and it's going to dry just like so. Maybe a little bit more wilted, but that's not a problem. So that is the first fondant flower done. The second style of flower, which if you're a beginner in cake decorating or you've just started out making fondant flowers, this one here you will absolutely love. I know I definitely did. They were one of the very first flowers I ever made when I started cake decorating. And for this one, you'll need a small rose petal cutter. You'll also still need the water, but you won't really need the other tools like the sponge or the ball tool. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think this is called a frangipani. I just know when I went to Bali that time, these flowers were everywhere and they were humongous. So just rolling it out, it doesn't have to be as thin as those petals were. Remember how we rolled them out to about 1.5 to 2 millimeters? This can honestly just stay at about the 2 millimeter mark and it's perfect. Oh, I cannot wait to just go back in bed, put on Netflix and recover. It's been 3 days, man. This cough is not going away. Alright, so with the rose petal cutter, I am going to cut out 5 petals. 3, 4, and 5. I'm having a lot of fun with you guys here, by the way. That wasn't me saying I want to go. I'd love to stay with you guys. And just complaining. Okay, so we have 5 petals. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we take a little bit of water. And what I'm going to do is, this is going to be the outside of the flower. So you want the pointy end facing you. And you just want to moisten very lightly that first half. You want to do that for all of your petals. And 3, and 4, and 5. Okay, now we let the magic happen. So position the petal so that it's covering half of the previous one. And just make sure you stick that down. This is sticky now because we added water. So we literally just continue this pattern and kind of bring it around back in a circle. So it's like a semicircle so far. Add on that last one. So you have something that looks like this. And now what you do is you fold it and connect the back of this petal to the front of that one. And you have a frangipani. How easy was that? Now from here, you could leave it just as is, or you could pull back and pinch the end of each petal. Just like so. And of course, I forgot the aluminium. No, here it is. Now, if you have like an eggshell case, you can pop that in there and let it sit like this to dry. I don't have an eggshell case, but I do have aluminium foil. So what I've basically done is I've taken aluminium, I've scrunched it up, and then I've just coned it. So it's more like a spherical sort of cone shape. Rest your flour directly in there, and that shape is going to hold. And as it dries, it's going to dry nice and floral-like, if you will, nice and rounded. I'm going to add a little bit of water to the very center, not much at all. That was way too much. And I'm going to add some edible gold rickies. I like to add 3. I feel like 3 is the magic number. And just stick them right in the center. And there we have 2 very quick, well, 1 very quick and easy fondant flower, and 1 sort of quick, but still easy fondant flower. Using fondant. You can use gum paste. I actually recommend using gum paste if you can grab some. They sell at Spotlight, I know that for a fact. Let's see, comments. Let's turn this around. I will eventually get used to this, I promise. Ooh, there goes my phone. Hi. Okay, does anybody have any questions? Hello, Fancy from Boston. Hello. Thanks so much, Dolce. Watching from the Philippines. Oh wow. Hi Rona. I hope it's not too late there in the Philippines. So the actual tutorial has finished. This is just for you guys now who might have any questions regarding the whole process here. Okie dokie. Jack says, thank you so much for showing us them 2 flowers. So nice to see the fast and best way to make them. Thanks, Jack. I'm glad you liked it. It is actually pretty quick. I mean, it's been 21 minutes and we did 2 flowers, so that's pretty good when you're talking about fondant. All right. Hello. Thank you everybody so much for tuning in. I hope it was fun for you guys. Definitely fun for me. I really enjoyed that. And now I have to make a cake to put these flowers on, so that's going to be fun. Maybe tomorrow. Right now, Netflix. Awesome. All right, have a great day, guys, and I'll see you in 2 weeks' time for our live stream regarding a cake made from start to finish. So I'm thinking building the cake, the crumb coat, and also applying that final coat, because that was the other one that won in the community section. All right, have a great day, guys. I'll see you later. How do I end this?